This is the Huey Alert Podcast with Craig and Shelly Huey, bringing you the tools to transform our nation and culture, the intersection of faith and politics.
Hi, it's Craig Huey, Huey Alert Podcast. I'm so glad you're with us, and we have my beautiful bride, Shelly.
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Hi, everyone.
And you know what? It's really something that has shocked me. How many people who subscribe to our newsletters have written saying, I want to leave, and they name the state.
Yeah.
You know what state it normally is?
Oh, gee, let me guess. California?
It is. It's also Chicago. It's New York. It's these states that were the
Oregon.
lockdown states. Yes, the states that have the indoctrination in the curriculum. It's the states that are the blue states with socialist government policies that are driving people out.
Yep.
And
so when did we see that? Oh, I know when we saw it. Was when we, I'm just going to say it, escaped California.
You use that word.
And we did. And we were what I would say, probably the forerunners, because it was right at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020 that we came to Tennessee. And it was with eyes wide open that we left for a variety of reasons, which we can get into on this podcast, because they're overwhelmingly the same reasons that we're seeing this mass exodus from what you're calling blue states.
Well, what I had noticed was that people were leaving California and some of these blue states over the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. But there has been a mass exodus. Yeah. You know, one of the things that prompted Shelly and I to leave where I was born. I was born in the state of California. Mm-hmm. I love the weather of California. Mm-hmm. I'm used to the beach. I used to surf there and along the coast. And it's a tragedy. I raised my family there. I started my business there. But the government basically shut down my business. They said, as owner of an ad agency, I couldn't have an independent contractor.
Yeah.
And
imagine
then
that.
The lawsuits and the high taxes and the over-regulations and then the crime and so much more, the homeless. And it was time to leave.
Well, what we discovered in California was something that was really almost very careful, where it was coming in. What I'm talking about coming in was the crime was coming in to the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That were
the safe suburbs.
You know, it was like this though. You knew the bad neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
So you avoided them. And then the not so good neighborhoods, guess what? They were getting invaded. The neighborhoods that were considered okay were getting invaded.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where neighborhoods that were borderline good were getting invaded. It invaded by what? Homeless everywhere, gangs everywhere, drug dealers everywhere, out of control, carjackings, robbery, just blatant robbery in parking lots.
And that's because of bad
stores.
Government policy.
And we've seen it on TV now.
It's bad DAs.
Where it's just constant. It's like Target's being raided. It's high-end stores being raided. It's everywhere all the time.
So here's the thing. I get these letters from people saying, where should I move to? And, I know how hard it is to move. The fact is, for Shelly and myself, there's no regrets.
Right.
We have saved so much money.
How much?
How much money have we saved?
I mean, across the board, 40 to 50% on everything.
100%.
Housing, property taxes, food, gas, clothes, you name it.
If you're in the middle class, if you're struggling in the lower class, if you're retired or near retirement, the solution is not to stay where you're at. The solution is the flee to a free state. And we did an evaluation of the states. We looked at what happens if we go to Arizona or Nevada? What happens if we go to Texas
And
or Florida,
we looked at
South
Texas,
Dakota?
we looked at Arizona.
Yeah, we looked, we explored, we investigated. It took us a year to once we decided on Tennessee, a year even in Tennessee to find exactly where to go. But we have no regrets. And the fear and the hopelessness that's there in California. What happens when we fly back into Los Angeles?
So quite honestly, we're in Nashville. Love Nashville. Love the people here. That was the first thing that I felt like I was welcomed in. The thing that I love about the younger generations, they're all about wanting community, wanting to feel connected, and a lot of them are doing that through social media, which that's their thing. But in reality, they want to feel like they're part of something and that they belong. Yeah. Well, you can't get that in big cities. It's very, very tough to find lots of good friends in big cities. So coming here to a city Nashville's not a big city necessarily, but people are nice. Oh. That's the part that blew my mind. The first encounter I had was when we had to rent a car. Yeah. And the person was like, "How was your flight? Oh, what'd you come in here for?"
Well, the difference. It was just the nice, difference. Just nice. I'm in California. I come in and I try to. I'm hiking, and people on the trail won't say hi.
They don't even make eye contact.
And in Tennessee, before I can raise my hand, they're saying hi. If I'm in a store in California and somebody in front of me or behind me is talking to me, I'm afraid they're going to be angry or have a knife. in Tennessee, I'm in the store and the person in front of me is talking to me and just carrying on a conversation. And then the person behind me starts talking. It's just the weirdest thing from a California perspective.
Yeah, it's everybody's friendly, everybody's nice, everybody's friendly, and it's like communication happens, right? So you just have this sense of belonging. It's kind of a throwback from back in the day when kids were playing outside, riding bikes. You see that everywhere here. Yeah. And I mean, quite honestly, suburbia. Los Angeles suburbia, Orange County suburbia, they come home, they drive in the driveway, they go in the garage, they close the garage, and they go in the house, and they don't come out. Period.
It's not here.
They don't.
And so 5.5 businesses a week that are entrepreneurs and business people, small businessmen, leave California, and they go somewhere else because they can't continue to do business in California. Large corporations like here in Tennessee, Oracle's here, In-N-Out's coming here. You've got Nissan. You've got Toyota went to Texas.
GM's down.
GM's. A lot of companies are starting their headquarters here because in Tennessee there's no income tax. Yeah. The property tax is a fraction.
It's half of what we pay in California. And friends of ours are from Illinois. And property taxes there are outrageous. Friends of ours are from New York, and they're outrageous. They're worse than California. They've come here, and they're like,
they're amazed. They can't believe it
away.
Because it's so freeing to be able to not have to cut your vitamin C's in two.
Right.
Yeah. And what I've noticed is that people who are in California, if they own a home and they move here, they're able to buy a house super cheap for cash and have money left over. I mean, in outside of Nashville, you go out about, maybe 30 to 40, 50 miles.
Not even that far.
You're going to get a brand new house for $350,000 in a nice big backyard. And they're beautiful homes. You're able to live here at a price point that in California there's no hope if you don't have a house.
It doesn't exist in California.
If you live in an apartment or you want a condo and you want to get a house, you got to get out. And then just the quality of life, a feeling of safety. Shelly, I know someone who is very wealthy in Bel Air, but he and his wife, they won't go down to Beverly Hills and shop anymore because of fear.
Well, it's not safe.
They won't
That's
wear
the
their
bottom
jewelry and watches to go eat at a restaurant because it's not safe.
So you know what? I'm gonna interject this real quick. So one of the places downtown is the financial district, right, in LA, and then there's the jewelry district, right?
Yeah.
You, if you go down there, you better recognize that if the building you're about to go into doesn't have an armed security guard,
Right.
you're a fool.
Yeah.
Because there are people literally waiting to rob you.
Yeah.
Literally waiting in that area.
And that is so disturbing.
It didn't used to be like that.
People are reluctant to have nice cars, because they could be stolen. It's just an absolute mess. So there's an exodus. Over 500,000 people in the last few years have left California, then moving into California. That's a lot of people. And all these businesses.
I got a quick question. I noticed that when we first moved out here, I was doing a lot of research, looking up, just Googling, best states to live in for tax purposes, best states to live in for quality of life, best states to live in for
absolutely,
recreation or education.
And here's the thing. Many of those are subjective because most people have heard of CNBC. It's the NBC-owned financial network. And they have the top 10 list and the 10 worst states to live in. And every red state is a worst state because they include inclusiveness, voting rights laws, reproductive rights. But if you get these lists and they look at the cost of living and they look at the quality of life, what's at the top? You're going to see at the top Florida. You're going to see at the top Tennessee, at the top Texas. You're going to see at the top South Dakota. You're going to see these states. And those are the states people are moving to because if they have kids or grandkids, they need to be in a safe and area where they can get ahead and they can afford to live.
And you know what I find funny too?
Yeah.
Is that we've met people
right.
that have left those states.
Oh,
and quite
everywhere.
Honestly, you know what? They don't need to be listening to CNBC to make up their minds.
Right.
People know what they want.
Yes.
And they go to a place where that will be there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, healthcare is great here.
Mm-hmm.
Education needs some work.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it's far better than California.
Or Illinois or New York.
Yes.
You've got an indoctrination mill. It's built into the state school system.
And you know what else?
Yeah.
I got to tell you something.
What's that?
Governor Lee just allowed parents to use vouchers.
That's right. Go to private
Tennessee.
school, Christian school.
That to me needs
school
to be applauded
choice.
Because I'll tell you what, if your kid, God forbid your kid goes to one of the abysmal schools that are in Nashville, because there are abysmal schools there where the kids can't read or do math.
Yeah.
You now have the ability to go to a school that's in the same area where the kids are learning everything, which is amazing.
One of the things we've also noticed, I go to a church and all of a sudden somebody says, "Hi, Craig." And I look at them, "Who are you?" And they go, "Hey, I was at this church when you spoke in California." Because they've moved out here.
Oh, yeah.
I've got people who subscribe to the newsletter who write, "Hey, are you in Franklin area of Tennessee? That just moved there." And I go, "Yes, I am." and it's pretty amazing to see the number of people in our community. What do you think it is? About 50% of the people?
45.
50% of the people are from California. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely amazing.
And it's all ages. It's not just
so many parents with young
like
kids.
They could be retired like us, even though we aren't, right?
Yeah.
It's people in their 30s, 40s, lots of littles.
Yeah. And of course, anybody retired. Here's the other thing. So many people have moved out here. And then the kids have followed. Or the kids have moved out here. And the parents have followed.
We know huge family groups that have come out here.
Yeah.
And
So I know that's the major reason people don't leave a certain area like Illinois or New York or New Jersey or
because they got the
California.
grandkids or they've got their parents or
Right.
something like that. And so it's not impossible because we've seen it happen over and over.
Oh, people who swear they'll never leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, but things happen, they move out, and people see the quality of life, and that's it. You want to improve your quality of life, the affordability of life, don't live in these blue states. That's just bottom line. You can have all kinds of arguments for and against staying, but I can tell you, Shelly and I have no regrets. Shelly, any final thoughts about people thinking about, are they in the right place?
Well, yeah. I mean, do your research. There's plenty of things to
and
look
listen,
up.
I encourage you, wherever you live, take a look at cost of living indexes. Email me. I'll send you how to find out how to do the cost of living index of a certain area.
That's where we decided on Tennessee.
It's night and day, but it's objective national.
You want more bang for your buck. That's what you do, because you don't want to keep bringing in your paycheck and having it go out to everything but you.
That's right. And take a look at different locations, and then within the certain areas, any state. There's certain parts of the state you want to be around, others you don't. We know that we didn't want to be right in Nashville, but we want to be near Nashville because it's an international airport, and it's you got incredible restaurants and entertainment and what have you. But you go just a little bit outside, 15, 20, 30, 40 miles outside, you're within driving range of uncrowded freeways to be able to get to the airport or whatever you need. And so it's take a look at where in a certain area, and if Tennessee is of interest to you, since I know it so well, you're welcome to email me. I'll be glad to let you know about a certain area or who to talk to, if you'd like to talk to a realtor, or I'm preparing a special report on the great exodus that's going on. And just email me and I'll make sure you get a copy of it.
Yeah, sounds great.
Anything else, Shelly?
No, that's it.
Great. Listen, we love the fact that you listened today. We know that you know someone who's living in a blue state who's thinking of leaving. So it might be good to go ahead and send this podcast over to them, let them listen, let them get the ideas, because we're examples of people who had to make that tough decision, but once that decision is made, wow, no going back. It's a win. It's a win. Any last thoughts?
No, just send it out to friends.
Absolutely, send it out. Let's spread the word about the podcast. It helps us. It helps you. It'll help them. All right. God bless you guys.
Thanks for joining us this week. We are listener-supported, so please consider partnering with us by donating at craighuey.com or by signing up for our free newsletter. We look forward to being with you next week. And don't forget to share this podcast with others.
Guys,